Emma's phone buzzed relentlessly on the kitchen counter. She wiped flour off her hands, expecting a casual text from her mom, maybe a recipe tip or a "How's your day?" Instead, her chest sank at the words, "Emma, you're not invited to Thanksgiving this year." Mom. Her grip tightened around the rolling pin. She reread it. Surely it was a mistake. She scrolled for any follow-up from Dad. Nothing. Silence. Her mother had always loved taking credit for family meals. But this was different. Emma's recipes had been the family's pride for years. The stuffing, the pumpkin pie, the cranberry relish. It had always been her magic, her touch, her signature. And now? Written off, excluded, ignored. Emma's heart pounded as she imagined the scene at the Carter house. Her parents smiling, serving dishes she had perfected, possibly even edited slightly for their touch, while she sat alone. Anger mingled with hurt. She packed her knives into her bag, taking one last glance at her modest apartment kitchen, the place where countless feasts had been born. A vow formed silently in her mind. They won't know what hit them. Emma walked out, the autumn wind brushing past her face, the crisp air echoing the sharp sting of betrayal. She didn't yell. She didn't call. She left silently, but the fire in her eyes told a story her parents couldn't yet see. Emma stepped into a sleek, bustling kitchen filled with gleaming stainless steel appliances. The faint hum of ovens and chatter of staff formed a rhythm she had grown to love. Here, she wasn't the daughter who got snubbed. She was Chef Emma Carter, quietly famous, her recipes sought after by food bloggers, TV producers, and elite restaurants across the country. A camera crew captured her arranging a decadent pumpkin pie for a feature segment on Thanksgiving classics. The host, impressed, whispered, "These are genius, Emma. You're revolutionizing holiday cooking." Emma smiled, but inside, she felt a flicker of amusement. If only my parents knew. The very recipes they had dismissed, the stuffing, the cranberry sauce, the secret spiced pies, they were already trending online, loved by thousands, all attributed to Emma Carter, not Linda or Richard. She moved gracefully through her domain, tasting sauces, sprinkling fresh herbs, and giving precise nods to her sous chefs. Each movement was a reminder. Success had been built silently, meticulously, far from the shadow of her parents' judgment. Her phone buzzed once, another text from a follower praising her Thanksgiving masterpiece. Emma chuckled softly. Out of sight, out of mind, her parents were about to realize that the magic they thought they owned was hers alone. Emma's life had transformed since the rejection. Her apartment had evolved into a chic loft studio where she filmed her recipe tutorials. By day, her flagship restaurant, Carter and Company, was a whirlwind of activity. Chefs bustling, ovens blazing, the scent of roasted turkey and fresh herbs filling every corner. By night, Emma's online platform had millions of followers, hungry for her Thanksgiving secrets. Sophia approached with a tray of freshly baked pumpkin tarts. "Emma, the Thanksgiving special went live. Views are skyrocketing," she said, eyes wide. Emma smiled, tucking a stray strand of hair behind her ear. "Good. Let them enjoy the feast. They'll know it's mine soon enough." David chimed in from the doorway, holding a clipboard. "The catering requests for next month. We're booked solid. Your reputation precedes you, Emma." As Emma walked through her bustling kitchen, she felt the quiet satisfaction of silent power. Every dish she perfected, every recipe she shared online, was a statement. I created this. My skill is unmatched. My family can't take it away. Outside, the city lights shimmered. Inside, she orchestrated a symphony of flavors, a world entirely her own. Her parents' exclusion was no longer a wound, it was fuel, shaping a life far grander than they could imagine. Word began to spread quietly. A mutual friend mentioned Emma's viral pumpkin pie to Hannah at a family brunch. Wait, she made the stuffing online? The one Mom always brags about? Hannah whispered, eyes wide. Meanwhile, in the neighborhood, murmurs grew. Neighbors shared screenshots of Emma's Thanksgiving tutorials. Likes and comments exploded. Everyone seemed to know about Emma's rise, except her parents. Emma scrolled casually through social media, noting subtle signs, tagged posts, friends commenting, curious likes from old family friends. She sipped her coffee, expression unreadable. They're noticing. Soon, they'll remember me. The stage was set. Whispers in hushed tones had begun to orbit around her culinary empire. Emma remained composed, aware that curiosity was the first step toward confrontation. She didn't reach out. She didn't react. She simply watched, a quiet storm behind her calm demeanor. The doorbell rang unexpectedly in the early evening. Emma wiped her hands on her apron and opened the door to see Hannah, her cousin, standing awkwardly with a forced smile. "Hey, Emma. I just heard about your recipes online," Hannah started, shuffling her feet. "Mom and Dad were talking and, well, they were curious. You know, about Thanksgiving stuff." Emma arched an eyebrow, calm but alert. "Curious, huh? That's nice of them." Hannah's eyes flicked to the kitchen, where a freshly baked pecan pie cooled on the counter. They they actually tried your pumpkin pie recipe last year without asking. I mean, they loved it. Everyone did. Just wondering, maybe you could give them some tips?" Emma smiled faintly, a hint of amusement in her eyes. "I'm glad they enjoyed it," she said evenly. "But I prefer sharing my recipes with those who respect my work." Hannah nodded nervously, sensing the unspoken message. Emma was in control, and anyone trying to intrude would face the quiet but firm boundaries she had built. She backed away slowly, leaving Emma standing tall in the center of her kitchen, a silent reminder that her success wasn't up for negotiation. Emma was plating her signature cranberry orange stuffing when the door swung open. Her parents stood there, eyes wide, feigning casualness. "Emma, we thought we'd surprise you," Linda said, voice too sweet. Richard's eyes darted nervously between the kitchen and Emma. Emma didn't move from her spot. Her knives rested beside her, gleaming under the kitchen lights. "A surprise?" she repeated, calm and measured. "Yes," Linda said, stepping closer. We we wanted to discuss your recipes. We thought we could borrow some ideas for Thanksgiving." Emma's lips curved into a faint, controlled smile. "Borrow? After telling me I wasn't invited last year? After ignoring the work I've put into every dish?" Richard shifted uncomfortably. "It's just family. We thought—" Emma cut him off, her tone firm. "Family doesn't get to claim what isn't theirs. My recipes, my creations, my work. They belong to me. Always have." Linda's smile faltered. She reached for the pie Emma had been decorating, but Emma stepped between her and the counter, placing a hand on the dish like a protective barrier. Without another word, Emma turned and walked past them, the kitchen light catching the determination in her eyes. The door clicked softly behind her parents as they stood frozen, realizing for the first time that the daughter they underestimated had become untouchable. Emma's phone buzzed incessantly. Notifications poured in. Texts, calls, emails. She glanced at the screen. Linda. "Emma, we're really hurt. Just give us one recipe." Richard. "We're family, Emma. Why won't you help?" Even social media DMs were flooded with hints from relatives praising the family's famous recipes, unknowingly stirring tension. Every message felt like a test, a veiled attempt to guilt her into submission. Emma's assistant, Mia, peeked in nervously. "They've been calling and texting nonstop today. Should I respond?" Emma shook her head calmly. Let them make themselves obvious. Patience shows everything." As the hours passed, the calls and messages intensified. Emma watched quietly, almost like a general observing enemy movements on a battlefield. She didn't yell, she didn't retaliate. Her silence was sharper than any words. Each desperate attempt her parents made only strengthened her resolve. By nightfall, the relentless pressure had only one effect. It reminded Emma of the power she wielded quietly, with patience and precision. She didn't need to react. Her success spoke louder than their demands. Emma was hosting a live Thanksgiving cooking demonstration at her flagship restaurant. The studio cameras captured every garnish, every perfectly roasted turkey, and the smell of fresh herbs filled the room. Suddenly, the doors burst open. Linda and Richard stepped inside, their faces a mix of entitlement and desperation. "Emma, we're here to help. Your recipes are our family heritage," Linda exclaimed. The room went silent. Staff and patrons watched in stunned disbelief. Emma turned slowly, holding a spatula like a scepter. Her calm gaze cut through their excuses. "Heritage?" she asked softly, voice dripping with controlled intensity. "These recipes are mine. Every spice, every method, every nuance. I created them. They are not yours to take or claim." Richard tried to step closer, hands raised. "Come on, Emma. It's just a recipe." Emma raised a hand, and the crowd instinctively fell silent. "Just a recipe?" she echoed. "Do you know what it took to make these dishes known, loved, and celebrated across the country? Hard work, passion, dedication, something you clearly don't respect." A hush fell over the restaurant. Patrons murmured in admiration. Emma's staff stood firmly behind her, ready to support her at a moment's notice. Her parents, suddenly realizing the magnitude of their underestimation, faltered. Emma smiled faintly, a mix of triumph and quiet fury. She didn't move toward them. Her authority was already undeniable. Their intrusion ended as abruptly as it began, leaving Emma standing tall in the center of her empire, untouchable. A week after the restaurant confrontation, Emma launched her most ambitious project yet, a nationwide Thanksgiving recipe challenge. She released her signature dishes online, with a digital campaign promoting originality and crediting the creator, her. Her phone buzzed with notifications, reposts, shares, media coverage. Social media exploded with admiration for Emma, highlighting the originality and meticulous detail in her recipes. Fans celebrated her creativity, while anyone attempting to claim them would be immediately called out. Meanwhile, her parents tried to capitalize quietly, posting old family dinners and claiming the dishes as theirs. But Emma had anticipated it. Every post, every recipe, every video included her digital watermark and clear authorship. Their attempts crumbled under public scrutiny. In the quiet of her loft studio, Emma poured herself a cup of tea and watched the analytics climb. She didn't need confrontation anymore. Her silent, strategic move had dismantled any pretense of authority her parents thought they held. Their manipulation and entitlement were exposed without a single argument. Emma smiled faintly, lifting her cup to the city skyline outside her window. She had won, not with anger, but with precision, patience, and undeniable proof of her brilliance. Emma stood in her loft kitchen, golden sunlight streaming through the tall windows. The scent of roasted turkey and baked pies filled the room, a comforting reminder of the Thanksgiving she had always loved. Around her, friends and loyal team members shared laughter, tasting the dishes she had perfected. No family drama, no guilt, no manipulation, just genuine appreciation for her skill and creativity. Emma set a final dish on the table, taking a moment to reflect. Years of rejection, exclusion, and betrayal had brought her here, stronger, wiser, and untouchable. The recipes they had once tried to claim without her presence were now celebrated across the nation, fully recognized as hers. She smiled softly, lifting her glass in quiet triumph. They wanted my recipes without me, but the feast of my success was mine alone. The camera panned out, capturing the warm, bustling scene as Emma basked in the peaceful glow of her triumph, the past betrayal now a distant memory.